am Fletcher Brown with another artist video blog at kicks986country.com. Our guest today, all the way from Nashville, Tennessee, by way of the great state of Iowa. Please welcome, for her very first visit to Kicks 96, XOLEX.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming all the way down here.
Of course.
All right, no, but you're actually in Nashville now. You're not still in Iowa.
I'm in Nashville. Yep. I moved there probably like 4 months now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but I've been there like the past year. I like technically say I lived there the past year because I did. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to tell you, I found XOLEX through, her promotions team. They, artists release music and they have promotion teams that call us at radio and they say, hey, we have this great artist, great new song that you need to hear. Listen to this. And I heard the single, Ain't Buying It. And I immediately messaged the promoter and I was like, who is this? And how do I find all of this music? All right. Now your biography, I noted in your biography, the opening of it just says that you are an unapologetic country gal. What is it?
We pretty much just say just unapologetic country rebel child.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What does that mean to you?
I mean, I just think, especially in this generation and the world that we live in today, I think a lot of people, try to fit in. Yeah. And I just say to be unapologetically yourself, despite what they say is good and bad or whatever, just be yourself and love your skin and love who you are. And that's pretty much what I say. It's I'm just going to be unapologetically me. I don't have, clearly there's boundaries, but if you were raised correct and you have right morals and all those things, then it doesn't matter, right? So,
well, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But I mean, we all walk around, I guess, with our own personal insecurities. And you're just saying, don't lead with that.
Yeah, but again, then I also like to say, of course, I struggle with insecurities as well. Yeah. But at the end of the day, as long as you get back up from those insecurities, when you're knocked down, then you're still a strong, independent person. You know what I mean?
Okay. And all that comes pouring through in your music.
That's good, because I try. Because again, especially with Ain't Buying It, the song you loved, I really wanted to make an anthem for people, especially men and women. I know a lot of people are like, oh, women, it's women-based. I'm like, it's men and women for an anthem, when they've ever been disrespected, cheated on, things of that nature. I want them to listen to that and be like, yeah, I am that person. I know my worth, and it is what it is, So it was fun writing it because, of course, I wrote it about my sister's ex-boyfriend who did cheat on her. So I was like, oh.
Shame on you.
I was like, there needs to be a way where I can hit him harder than he hit her. And, of course, here I am on radio. So.
She made you famous.
There you go. I won't say your name, but, yeah, it's funny.
Now, the song was co-written by Bobby Terry and Ellie Mae.
Yes.
All right. So you were in that's heavy company.
It's heavy company, yes.
Bobby Terry's written for Garth Brooks.
And Faith Hill.
Just seriously.
Yeah. He's a phenomenal person. Of course, I'm very blessed and thankful to have met him. One of the first people I met in Nashville. So, that's another thing. I'm like, it's God's plan that I was put in Nashville and I met with him. And Ellie Mae, of course, was on The Voice last season on Blake Shelton's team. One of my dear friends from Iowa State, I just hit her up that day that my sister called me, and I was supposed to have a chill, relaxed day. And I was like, girl, you need to get over here and put down a melody to this. And she did. And then we had Ain't Buying It, what, Mom, 15 minutes later? Wow. My mom was there, so she knows, but yeah.
Okay. So, and then that's your debut single to country radio.
That's my debut.
That's how we met. XOLEX, okay? But so what I'm going to do now, real quick, we're going to rewind the clock and we're going to go back and we're going to be okay, where does XOLEX come from?
Right. Okay, yeah. So I come from a small town in Sheraton, Iowa. It's an hour southeast of Des Moines. I always like to say that so you guys can pinpoint me on the map. But I was born and raised. I'm a farmer's daughter. Ideally, country. I grew up in country music. So country just is it just is a nature. It comes to me so naturally, and it's actually funny because people ask me, they're like, so what do you like? R&B? Do you like soul? Do you like country? I'm like, I like it all, but I can go in the studio and write a country song and like that. Obviously it's not that easy, but it comes naturally to me when I sing country.
Yeah, you're not coming to it as a stranger.
Yeah, it just feels like at home versus when I was in R&B and soul, it would take me a lot longer to incorporate my, little spice to it because I always kind of made it a little bit of country. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So grew up there and I always like to say that I'm very blessed to grow up in a small town because, never forget where you came from. My mom's always said that, and I do think that's why I am the person I am today, is because I came from that small town, and I'm just naturally so loyal to the people I love and things of that nature. Because is I've just been blessed for sure.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
So then now your country roots, obviously the country holds a solid place in your heart, but also so do like the pop and rock influences.
Yeah.
And how do you balance that in your music?
I really just go in the studio, and of course, like right now I'm finishing up an album that I'm hoping to drop this year. So I'm doing, more of my country, but I'm also incorporating, like, if you have heard my Folsom Prison Blues, it's like jazzy soul,
Mm-hmm.
which you can hear afterwards and stuff like that. But I just try to put exactly me into these songs. What, like, I'm not going to be put into a little tiny box to be just a straight country artist,
Mm-hmm.
because that's not who I am. I am a country female artist, and I love doing country, but ideally, I want to put together all demographics with my music. And that's, pop, like that's R&B, that's country, that's it's all of it, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
just feel like, especially now in this generation, you can do that if you have a great team and a great vision. You know what I mean? Because, like, what I struggled with 3 years ago when I was first starting to become an artist is I had an identity crisis and I didn't know who I was. I mean, granted, look at my name, it's XOLEX. Like, at first I was like, oh, I want to be Lex, right? And then I was like, oh, Lex is taken. So I'm like, who am I? Who am I? Like, how do I incorporate like all the genres that is like, hey, it's obviously always coming from Alexis, right? So I'm like, I'm just gonna do hugs and kisses Lex, like XO with love Lex. Because I knew at that time, I'm like, I'm not just going to be dropping only country, the standard country, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I've always known that I was going to be kind of like dipping in sauces of like all these genres. And that's why I even chose XOLEX, which is just like in a little background story for you. But
That's well, I mean, if you wondered if mom and dad named her XOX,
yeah,
kind of, sorta,
a little
but
bit. I
it's
guess
a
I
little,
was,
it's a little bit of what mom and dad gave her and a little bit of herself.
yeah.
It's like she took those two things and put them together.
No, seriously.
So you enjoy songwriting.
I do.
You're a powerful vocalist.
Thank you.
Who would you say, vocally speaking, would you point to be like, man, that's one of my favorite voices to listen to that you grew up listening to?
Okay, so I mean, Miley Cyrus has always been somebody who I've idolized because growing up, an insecurity of mine was my voice. I
Really?
would get made fun of left and right, being like, just talk about my voice, and so I always, as a younger girl in middle school, I was self conscious of it. And Miley, as Miley Cyrus and Hannah Montana, she kind of made me realize, okay, my voice is okay. Like, I grew to love it and cherish it, and like love the grittiness and love the raspiness because Miley showed everybody like I have it too. You know what I mean? So I've
Mm-hmm.
always looked at her as an idol, like a little role model, just because she kind of helped me with my confidence in that case. But when it comes to like penmanship, which I think is important as a songwriter to literally obviously create a story and tell the story and make people feel something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is Hardy. Hardy is
Okay.
unbelievable. Like, and I know it's kind of people are gonna be like, what? This came out of nowhere. Listen to his song A Rock, and it will really probably change your perspective on writing, like in general, because the way he wrote it is astonishing. Like, I'm
Mhm.
like, that's my goal when I write things now. And I just actually wrote a song last week with an amazing songwriter, Paul Sykes, and we named it I Sure Know How to Pick 'em. And we kind of did a similar route of like there's a story throughout the song, and it's
Mhm.
like it's giving you imaging of like me going in an orchard, picking up all these sour apples and horrible fruits, taking them home with me. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So things like that I think about as a songwriter.
Yeah, well, you good. I think you should because I
Yeah.
mean, country especially, it's the art of storytelling.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah.
All right, so you've got your debut single out,
Mhm.
"Ain't Buying It," which we've covered that. That's about like bad breakups, or just just bad people in
Just bad.
relationships and
Yeah.
toxic relationships in general. But you mentioned you're working on an album. So
Yeah.
where are we with the production of the album? I mean, are we close to finishing
So
that?
I work with Bobby Terry, and he's actually on tour with Garth Brooks right now in Vegas. He has next month off. So
Mhm.
I'm going to be in the studio finishing everything I can finish throughout those moments. But We have so many songs. Like it's at this point, I'm kind of like picking like which ones that I think will resonate with the album, and I'm naming the album XO, comma Lex, so
Okay.
people also realize like it's XO Lex. Because I know sometimes they're like, "Are you Zolex?" Like Zolex, Rolex. Like you need to get.
I'll admit the first question I ask is, how do you pronounce this name?
Yeah,
Because I don't want to
yeah.
say it wrong.
And
So,
I first I had it X.O. Lex, and then I changed it because of course I just, my mind races 100 million times and I'm like, oh, let me just change it to all together, look better. And then here we are. And I don't regret it. I think it still looks great, but it definitely needs to be like somewhere where people know it's XO Lex, you know? I like getting called XO too. A lot of people have been like XO like on the street and I'm like, wait, that's so cute. I'm like, I love that. So I actually have merch gonna be coming out, just said XO, like, and then have it imprinted with Lex and stuff. So I think that's cute.
all right. Well, one last thing. You're on, other than just, making great music and trying to reach people, with music, in various genres. You're also, one of your big thing is like, just like taking care of your health and keeping people, like inspiring people through
Yeah.
using your story to, be mindful of their health and wellness.
I love that you asked that because, I do think it's in my bio. So I know
Yeah.
you read my bio, which is important to me because I took the time to put my heart and soul in that bio. So when people come to my website, that's me right there. That whole, I mean, I know it's long, but if you want to get to know XOLX, that's me right there. And holistic medicine saved my life. You wouldn't know that 6 years ago, I was on my deathbed and I was about to die. You know what I mean? So I think I'm a big advocate for holistic medicine. When I was getting told by hundreds of doctors, they didn't know what's wrong, and to take this medicine, that I would not get better, right? And then my mom went the holistic route and they found the reason, because that's the most important thing. When they don't know the reason and you're taking meds and stuff, you're still not fighting the cause, right? So they found the reason. I took the whatever they told me to take. I don't know the terms because I'm not a doctor, but they told me to take certain things and I did, and it saved my life. And so I'm a big advocate for holistic medicine because it genuinely is the most important thing for us, especially in today's society, to know and to educate ourselves on. Because you could help, even if you're not sick and you feel good. It could be the little things. It could be your stress. It could be an ear infection. It could be your lungs. Like you don't feel like you're getting enough air. There's always a reason for that specific thing happening to you. You know what I mean? Underlying cause.
So you're a big advocate for, like, just holistic medicine, and like not just, here, take this pill, but like,
I will give you, like, if a lot of my friends text me like, oh my gosh, I have a sore throat, what do I need to do? And I give them literally a list of what to do, and the next day they're like, I'm so much better. They don't need to take Tylenol, aspirin, antibiotics. They take natural holistic medicine and they're completely okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Well, if people have been inspired by your music, your story, and want to know more about you, where do they find XOLX on the internet?
You can find me on TikTok, Instagram. Those are the most socials that I'm actually on all the time. But XOLEX official, so it's XOLEX official, and I'm also on Twitter and Facebook, which I do post to that too. And then you can find me on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and all other the platforms I don't know about as just XOLEX.
All right. Yeah. The single is Ain't Buying It. If you want to hear it, be sure to call us at Kicks 96. We'll gladly play it for you. XOLEX is our guest. Hopefully we won't have to wait too long before her next single and her next visit to us here. And we appreciate you coming by.
Thank you for having me. It's been awesome.
Absolutely.
Actually, I love that you asked that question.
We're gonna have to make sure that, while one of the you're only 2 hours from Nashville, so you're gonna make sure that you get a decent tour of Muscle Shoals. I think the music history here would really be something.
My mom's like, yes, yes.
Everybody loves Muscle Shoals. All right, just find her on the internet, find her on all the social media. Ain't Buying It is the single. Make sure you get a copy of that for yourself and have it here at Kicks 96. We'll have you play it for you. I'll see you next time on another artist video blog at Kicks96Country.com.